Previously.
What the hell do you think you were doing today?
I beg your
At
pardon.
Waterloo?
Killing a terrorist who, by the way, turned out to be one of ours, Ali Busaid.
Who we've been watching for months.
Yes, well, considering he was in our employ as an undercover agent, and now I've had to shoot him dead for machine gunning people, I hope you can see why I'm rather pissed off.
Matt, I got a cab from Waterloo Station, and on the back seat, poking out from the joint, I found this.
A USB stick?
Can you see what's on it?
Sure. Yeah, later.
Why can't you do it now?
Busy.
Shit. You hacked MI5! You're logged onto MI5. What sort of IT security consultant are you?
Oh, shit. All right, look, I am an IT security consultant, but I work for MI5. Jess, if MI5 found out you had an encrypted data stick with all the current shit going on, they'd be round here trashing the joints, and then, when they're done with the flat, it would be me. And then you.
Sorry to interrupt, but a letter has just arrived by email, addressed to you and marked urgent. I forwarded it to your personal inbox.
Okay, thank you. I'll look at it now. It's from the Russian embassy in Moscow. Oh, shit.
What?
Shit.
What is it?
Our ambassador has been summoned to attend the embassy immediately. And the reason is they've found a fragment of the drone which can, from that fragment, clearly be identified as British.
Gordon?
James, a little job for you. Jessica Adams has to die. Make it unpleasant.
Understood. There's been a development. Your intended targets have turned up in London. And let's just say that their internet activity suggests you need to be seriously worried.
Don't move. MI6, lie on the floor and put your hands behind your back.
Please!
Get on the floor.
No, please!
Take her.
No! Let me go! Get the fuck off me! Oh, please, I'm not a spy or anything. I don't know anything.
Shut up! You're a journalist. You're just as bad as a spy, snooping around and spouting all this conspiracy theory shit.
No!
You see that big tin bath full of icy water?
Yes.
Well, in a few seconds we'll be drowning you in it.
Oh, no, please! I won't say anything else, I promise!
Do it, lads.
No!
There's something very special about standing impassively while you watch somebody you hate being drowned.
I am here to tell you that I intend to launch a nuclear weapons strike against London. My cyber experts are disabling Triton's communication systems, including radar, GPS, everything. But soon they will be ready. And when London is wiped off the face of the earth, the world will see that nobody disrespects my mother country. In the Interests of Security by Robert Chantler. Part 3.
I need updates on the Hussein and Karimi situation.
Well, we know they have postgraduate degrees in chemistry and biomedicine, so with their twisted views, they're a pretty dangerous cocktail. Although we have no specific intelligence, it would be conceivable that some sort of biological or chemical weapons attack is planned. On the other hand, if they instructed Busaid to carry out the shoot-up at Waterloo, that could have been the overture to something even more operatic. They've gone quiet. We monitor chat rooms, websites, Facebook profiles, Twitter feeds, news feeds. It's all pretty quiet. That's pretty ominous and suggests they might be good to go right now.
I want surveillance teams' eyes and ears on full throttle, 24/7. I want feeds from every CCTV camera in London. I don't care how many people it takes, get them on it. Check the dark web too, liaise with our embedded agents. Just get something definite or we're going to be in as much shit as MI6. Liaise with the Met, the TSG, Special Forces. I want surveillance everywhere. I want troops with guns on the streets. I need Londoners to feel safe and I need to stop this attack. Get General West on the line. He needs to deploy the army ASAP.
Hello?
This is Hussein.
How did you get...
Put me on speaker.
It's Hussein.
The Hussein?
It must be.
Do what he says and get a trace on the call.
Who am I speaking to?
The head of MI5.
Good. How I got your number is irrelevant. I ring to tell you this. You take every IS terrorist incident, total the dead and the carnage, and times it by 1,000, and that's what London's got coming. And you might as well know now. You won't be able to prevent it. Karimi and I are both willing to die, and I assure you, when we do, we'll be taking plenty with us. Goodbye, head of MI5. Nice speaking with you.
Shit.
We have to assume this is genuine. Could we trace it?
It was done by VoIP with encryption. We can't trace it.
We can't evacuate a whole city. Imagine the panic. Imagine the chaos.
It's midday, and I'm reporting to you live from a grim scene on London's South Bank. An area of the beach has been cordoned off as a passerby called them after seeing a body on the shingle. It is thought to be our colleague, Jessica Adams. If the body is formally identified as hers, this will be a terrible shock for us and the sad loss of a much-loved and respected journalist. I'm seldom on your screens nowadays as I'm the BBC News editor, but I had to be here this morning, and I had to bring you this news myself. I understand her boyfriend is on his way to formally identify the body. Given her recent reports, I'm sure conspiracy theories will be plentiful, but we ask that her family be left alone to grieve in private and that due respect will be paid to her for all her wonderful work.
Touching, wasn't it? Claire coming back to our screens to bring the breaking news.
Yes.
We've gone too far, haven't we?
Pull yourself together. It's not the first time you've ordered an assassination. For God's sake, she was just a grubby little journalist. Sorry, no disrespect meant, sir.
Well, as the chief coroner seems to have taken it upon himself to do the post-mortem, I hope he eventually returns a verdict of suicide or accidental death, because I'm warning you, James, if we get fingered, you are fucked.
Relax. By the way, we found out who her boyfriend was. Matt Davis, IT nerd for some finance company or other. Insignificant.
You said you killed him when you took Jessica.
Yes.
Well, what happened to his body? Was it taken? Is it still at the flat? Please tell me it's not still at the flat.
It's all been taken care of, sir.
West. Commander. Is this about Trident?
Yes, sir. This is Vigilant. All our systems are disabled. Looks like a cyber attack, sir.
I know. Vanguard's commander has just called in too. See if he can fix the systems from the ship. Meanwhile, as I said to Vanguard, it's best if you return to Fastlane with immediate effect. Get the PM on the line. Now.
I have to make a statement. This is my worst nightmare.
Look, you had to act quickly. You sought the advice of the Attorney General. The security services have to act fast sometimes.
What about the rest of it?
The rogue agent was MI6's fault, not yours. Blame MI6, blame the military. You were just trying to do the right thing for the security of the country. Ask Sarah if in the circumstances she'd have done anything differently.
The chief coroner is doing the post-mortem on Jessica Adams. Her boyfriend identified the body. It's all over the news.
Hello? Chris, it's for you. General West.
On this number? General.
Prime Minister, there's been a cyber attack on our nuclear deterrent. Both patrolling Trident submarines have had a total systems failure. The engine and the radio are the only things that still work.
Oh my God. Do you think it's the Russians?
If the Russians wanted to fire nuclear weapons at us, the first thing they'd do is incapacitate our defence system. Right now, we don't have a deterrent. Romanov is fuming, and we're a sitting duck.
This is bad. This is bad times 1,000. I'll try and get hold of Martin. Meanwhile, I'll ring Gordon and we'll scramble every IT nerd MI6 has. All right?
Thank you, Prime Minister.
So, gentlemen, I'm sure you would like to hear my findings. She appears to have died as a result of drowning. The amount of water in her lungs suggests she had been in the water for several days before she was discovered. However, there were 4 findings which I must also record, which are of concern. First, there was damage and bleeding to air sacs in the lungs, consistent with traumatic drowning, as would happen if someone was forcibly held under and surfaced more than once. It is possible she may have struggled after falling into the river, but it's also possible that she may have drowned and then be thrown into the river later. Second, there is, in line with the jugular vein on the left side, a 2mm needle puncture mark, consistent with the injection of a sedative or noxious agent, although blood analysis did not reveal any traces of any such substance. Third, there were high levels of toxin in her muscle tissue, particularly in her leg muscle, such as would occur if someone who'd spent a long time in very cramped conditions. And fourth, there was some kidney damage in keeping with damage from muscle toxins, as would be found in a crush injury, victim released after a prolonged period of time. It is my view that the findings of these 4 areas are not in keeping with accidental drowning or suicide, and therefore, in these circumstances, I'm afraid I must retain the body and make further inquiries, whereafter the body may be released so a burial can be performed by the family, which I know they are keen to hold. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That completes the post-mortem.
For fuck's sake, why did you inject her?
One of the men had his hand over her mouth and round her throat. The other man had her body, and she was still struggling too much. It was necessary to ensure she didn't escape or draw attention. She was feistier than we thought.
Yes, well, a needle mark in the neck, traumatic lung damage, crushed muscles and kidney damage. When Fleming Williams places this in the public domain, which she's obliged to do, we are up to it in our necks. And I've just found out her boyfriend was. While the good doctor down there was doing the boring bit, I Facebooked Jessica Adams and her profile picture shows her with her boyfriend, and he is here. Which means you or your goons, or whoever fired the shot, missed.
Fuck.
So that was what the phone call was about, was it? The team got to the flat and found the body wasn't there? Think before you answer, because I know a liar when I see one.
All right, it was. I had it under control. There was no point in giving you more to worry about.
Well, keep your head down, because if he recognises you and places you in the flat when Jessica got rendered, you and MI6 are roundly fucked. Now get out of my face while I think about what the hell I'm going to do. And as for the post-mortem, don't think you'll be getting away with this, because you stuck the needle in her neck and you are totally culpable.
Who ordered the rendition? You.
Yes, and you could have knocked her out, chloroformed her. You didn't have to get the needle out.
Well, next time you do it. Just remember, if I go down, you go down. Because once I'm on the outside, I have nothing to lose.
Is that a threat, Mr. West?
Yes, it is.
Statement by the Prime Minister. Order! Order! This statement is on a matter of grave importance, and we must listen to it. The Prime Minister must be heard.
Mr. Speaker, I've been called to this House today to brief you on an intelligence matter. In the early hours of November the 2nd, 2015, I received a call requesting my immediate attendance at MI6. This call came from the head of MI6. He appraised me of intelligence that stated that 2 senior IS terrorists who masterminded the recent terrorist atrocity in London would be at a location in Moscow later that day. And that this might be our only chance to take them both out without causing collateral damage or civilian casualties. Cobra was convened and the Attorney General was consulted. Given the tight time frame, it was neither practical nor, in our opinion, necessary to seek authorization through debate in this House. This action was legitimate because we were acting to protect our country from terror attacks that intelligence strongly suggested would be carried out by these individuals imminently. The intelligence was considered by MI6 to be credible, and accordingly I authorised the use of a missile-equipped drone on this rare occasion, which was subsequently deployed by the Chief of Staff's operative at RAF Waddington and successfully destroyed the target. Unfortunately, the intelligence subsequently proved to have been wrong, but I must maintain that we had every reason to believe it was sound and accordingly carried out the mission. It is also regrettable that after the drone self-destructed, a fragment remained intact large enough to enable the Russian authorities to identify it as from a British drone of a type not supplied to them. With relations between us and Russia at breaking point, I cannot tell you how serious the situation now is. I still maintain that in the face of the intelligence received, we acted correctly and lawfully. I maintain that subsequent events could not have been reasonably foreseen.
The leader of the opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am very distressed to hear that the intelligence that was for the basis for this action was incorrect. Clearly, then as now, the Prime Minister has no intelligence.
Order!
It is time he stood down and called an election and let the people he has now put in jeopardy deliver their verdict upon him.
God, Jenny, that statement was a bloody nightmare. And she tore me to bits in PMQs as well. I can't stand that woman. I take her out with a drone and strike for 2 pins.
Hello, Jenny. Just as well you didn't divulge details of the intelligence source.
Oh, absolutely. Thank goodness for the well-trodden, that's classified line.
Well, I have to tell you that one of the senior officials of the Foreign Office finally managed to speak to our ambassador in Moscow, who, unbelievably, has been on leave for the last fortnight. And he tells us that Romanov is ready to launch a nuclear strike against London. I assure you diplomatic communication channels are well and truly active, but entre nous, if Trident isn't back online soon, I fear our worst nightmare might become very real.
Ah, there you all are. Who'd have thought I'd found you all in the bar, eh?
Oh, Sir William.
2 developments. I see no reason not to let you all know. First, the Chief Coroner has sent me the post-mortem on Jessica Adams. Several things pointed to the fact that she was tortured and killed before being thrown into the river in the hope that it would seem like a suicide. Second, a police officer conducting a follow-up search of the flat under the direction of the head of Scotland Yard found a discarded hypodermic needle of the same diameter as that which pierced her neck and containing traces of a sedative agent. The laboratory of the government chemist confirmed that the chemical makeup did not match that of any known sedative, suggesting it was experimental. The needle had fingerprints on, which have been taken and retained along with the needle, and a full forensic team are all over the flat like termites as we speak. I think, Prime Minister, these circumstances implicate the intelligence services in her death. If the BBC or any newspaper ask for it under freedom of information, unless it is classified quickly, it might find itself in the public domain.
I'll get hold of Richard and Gordon. As you say, if this gets out, it will undermine both intelligence services at the time they absolutely don't need any more problems.
Jess was a wonderful person, a loving girlfriend, and a great journalist. I am devastated by her death, and I swear that if her death was orchestrated by the government, or MI6, or both, they will pay. I will bring them down. and get justice for my Jess. Goodbye, my darling Jess.
That was lovely, Matt. Come on, you have a cry if you need to.
And so we commit the body of Jessica Adams to the ground, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, in sure and certain hope of the resurrection of the eternal life, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Are you Claire Wells?
Yes?
I was on the Westminster Bridge the other night filming night shots of London for my photography degree when I saw these two black SUVs on the pavement. I thought nothing of it, but used the long lens and snapped away. 150 frames per second, this camera.
Cool.
And these two guys in black looked like they were dumping a body off the bridge. Well, there was a massive splash. Then they looked over and then shook hands. And then one got a phone call and got very animated. Then they got into their SUVs and drove off. I have the whole set of pictures here. If this is anything to do with Jessica Adams' death, I want you to plaster this all over the news. And between you and me, I'm a real conspiracy nut. And I think I might have some dynamite stuff here.
Well, thank you. I wasn't just Jessica's boss. I was her friend, and she was mine. And if these pictures can shed any light on her death, or implicate anyone in the Secret Services, you have my word that I'll get them out there, whatever the cost.
Don't you go to MI5 or MI6 with this. They're in on it. Got to go.
Yeah, thanks again.
Hi, Claire.
Can I come in?
Sure. I know MI6 killed my Jess. I've already copied the contents of this data stick she found to the cloud. Well, in case they come round here and confiscate everything.
What data stick?
It's a recording of all the activity at the RAF base that fired the drone on the day of the drone attack. I'll copy you in.
Thanks. And I believe you that MI6 wanted her quiet. A photography student snapped 3 men in 2 black SUVs dumping a body off Westminster Bridge on Saturday night. If it was dropped there, it would have floated upstream and could have easily ended up on the South Bank shores. No plates on the SUVs, you see. Look.
Government vehicles.
Even got a snap of one of the guy's faces. Barely visible except in the light of his mobile phone. He was checking and a passing headlight beam.
Well, you can just about make the face out. Can't see the others, but, well, if I'm not mistaken, your mystery face looks like James West, MI6's number 2. Oh, shit!
What?
Flashback. It was him. It was him at the flat who shot me. James West. MI6 killed Jess. I need a copy of that post-mortem report.
I'll put in an FOI and get a copy.
Oh, no time. I'll be round to the chief coroner's with my credentials first thing in the morning. And when I find James West, I'll kill him. So many kinds of dead. You won't want to know.
Matt? What credentials?
Don't repeat this to anyone, but I work for MI5.
Did Jess know about this? You know,
It was almost the last conversation we had before she died.
I don't begin to know the loss you're feeling, but I love Jess too. And if we can bring the killers to justice, then we will. I'm standing on Westminster Bridge, where a member of the public took some disturbing photographs last Saturday night. The pictures you're seeing now show 2 men in unmarked black SUVs throwing what appears to be a body into the Thames. One of the men was captured in light from a car headlight and his phone, and an anonymous source has identified him as MI6 agent James West. You can also see that the street lights on the bridge were not on, but other lights in the area were, which our source also says is suspicious. Is the body that of Jessica Adams? Are the conspiracy theorists right? Did MI6 kill Jessica Adams? This is Claire Wells, handing you back to the studio. Don't hurt me, please!
Shut up and hear me out. I won't.
Get out! Get out now! You killed Jessica! Get out or I'm calling the police!
There's no point denying what I did, but if I'm going down, Gordon Chambers is coming down with me. I'm giving you everything. Where the black site is, where we killed Jessica, the tank we drowned her in, the bodies of the 2 colleagues I shot in the head, they'll still be there. This is a 64 gigabyte data stick. It's got recordings of every telephone conversation, every meeting, everything. Knowing you'll put it out there is the only reason I'm not going to blow your brains out right now. Because believe me, I want to. Don't try and find me because you won't. I know how to disappear.
I'm calling the police, right now! Nothing you do now can make me forgive you.
Good piece last night, but be careful.
This is more than just a news story to me. This is personal. James West came to my office and he threatened me with a gun and made me listen to what he had to say.
Oh my God!
He left me a data stick. He said it had everything. I mean everything. Basically, he said the only reason he was leaving me alive was because I could put it all out there and bring MI6 down with him. Then he fled.
Well, I know what he looks like. If I see him, he's fucking dead.
Gordon Chambers gave the order. James and 2 goons did the deed. It was a black site in an abandoned destroyer by the docks.
I know it. Shit, that's a black site.
Yes, I've been going through this data stick all day. There are maps, photographs, phone conversations, briefings, minutes, discussions. This must have taken him hours to assemble. It's basically the whole chain of events from the word go.
Well, Jess found an encrypted data with the audio recordings from the RAF base that fired the drone. It's still in her knickers drawer. So if I give you that too...
They're going down.
And so is James West. When I find him, which I will, he's dead. The killer always returns to the scene of the crime. And that's where I'll be waiting for him.
Yes. You're kidding me. If this is true, I cannot authorize the nuclear option. The system would take our missile out and they'd certainly retaliate. Find out for sure and then let me know. Meanwhile, keep monitoring. I must get better IT experts.
So you see, Chris, Russia can't risk launching nuclear weapons now. I know they know our people got Trident back online. Well, Vanguard at least. I made absolutely sure I put it out there. They monitor all our communications, you know.
I know, and I would sort of like to put some comments about Romanov on our Twitter feed, but I better not.
Anyway, we're still no safer from whatever mega attack Hussein and Karimi are planning.
We don't know what they're planning, where they intend to strike, or when. Our agents are all over it. GCHQ have basically put everything else on hold to free up officers to search communications, but they've just gone totally quiet.
We have teams surveying CCTV cameras from across London with instant face match software running all the time. We have 100 intelligence staff and civilians on it. We even drafted in temps, which we would never do except in an absolute emergency. Believe me, they are watching constantly.
And we have over 100 MI5 officers doing the same thing.
Have you got over 100 officers to spare?
Well, if you include civilian admin staff, then yes.
So who's doing the general monitoring you normally do?
Well, I can't speak for Richard, but our field agents are still out there, and GCHQ is still monitoring generally.
Our field agents are out there too, actively looking for them, and some are continuing their existing missions.
All right, well, I hope so, because I'm like a cat on hot bricks. A 9/11 scale attack will be the final nail in my coffin. A PM that allows such an atrocity to happen on his watch is finished. Of course, I'll blame the intelligence services, but I'll still have to carry the can.
We're watching too, and believe me, we're keeping a very close eye on Romanov and his agents, I can assure you of that. We put information out that Trident was back online, and our man in the Kremlin tells us Romanov's furious because he had to rein back on deploying the nukes.
You've got an insider in the Kremlin?
Oh, yes.
And is Trident back online?
No, it's still fucked. But he doesn't know that.
Yes?
We found them. Picked them up on random CCTV monitoring, and it looks bad. Their waistlines look pretty bulging. I reckon they must have a shitload of explosives around their waists.
Where?
Covent Garden, sir. Right in the heart of the market.
Shit. Right, get over there now and...
Teams are heading over there now. We're going to. Cavalcade, police, escorts, a lot. Once their sirens go off, total stealth. Marksmen take them out. Public otherwise.
Right, we're...
I think he'd be coordinating it with MI5 with respect, sir.
Right. I'll be going there now. It's only up the road. We'll be there in 5.
What?
Hussein and Karimi are in Covent Garden and ready to commit the mother of all terrorist acts.
Fuck.
Alex and Tom and the snipers had better get there before they push those buttons because they've got enough explosives around their waists to level the whole piazza. Come on, we're going to the ops room now.
Shit! Drop your weapon! Never! Put your gun down!
No, put yours down!
Never! You killed Jess! I don't care who gave the order! You did it! I saw the CCTV! You locked her in a tiny crate all night, screaming and crying in pain, and then drowned her in that!
Yeah, I did. I personally stuffed her in there. Thank God she's still unconscious, or it would have been impossible.
You bastard!
She was on her knees and folded so flat her chest was on her thighs, and then I put her arms behind her back, just for good measure, before screwing the lid down.
Shut up!
And I stood and I watched as my associates drowned her. She struggled and struggled, gasping for breath, splashing about and trying to scream.
Stop it! One more word and I'll put your brains all over the walls.
Go on then, go on then. You know if you try and fire, I'll have your face blown off before you can even touch the trigger. You're an IT nerd, not a proper spy. Well, I've served my country and look where it's got me, eh? Still a slave to that twat Gordon Chambers. He won't be treating me like shit for much longer because he's going down. And I mean down big time.
Oh, my heart bleeds for you. Anyway, I know you gave everything to Claire. She told me.
Well, well. Jess not even cold in her grave and you're shagging an editor.
Shut up! I won't tell you again. I swear I'll blow your head off.
All talk and no action.
If I'd taken your girlfriend and tortured her and killed her, how would you feel, eh? Or are you so cold and psychotic?
I'd be doing what you're doing now, but I'd have killed you already.
Well then, it's a standoff, isn't it? At some point one of us has to fire and... it happened to be me.
This is amazing. Amazing.
Thanks, but I think MI6 is fancier.
Not the setup, what you've done. I'm sorry for all those things I said about you to Chris after you left the other day. I just feel so bad. I mean, I called you a bellend and... Oh, of course, you wouldn't have known that, would you?
And you've just failed your audition for MI6.
Friends, bury the hatchet.
In your head, you wanker. Yes, I think we can let bygones be bygones, but I will make one thing clear. MI5 found them, MI5 officers are bringing them in, and MI5 is getting the credit.
Fair enough.
Alex wasn't kidding. They look like they both have suicide belts with enough explosives to take a block out with them, so it's definitely a stealth operation. They can't slip the net this time. Every camera is tracking them. Our marksmen have to take them both out at the same time. First time. If one goes down, the other will detonate their belt quicker than we can blink.
If this gets out...
Can you imagine the panic?
For God's sake, Covent Garden!
And all we can do is hope we get them before they detonate those belts.
Tom, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you still see them?
In the west look pretty well padded from here.
Red 1, you in position?
Yes, but I can't get a clear shot.
Oh, shit. Red 2, you in position?
Yes, but we have to move the people around them.
We'll try. As soon as you have clear shots, take them out, together. Richard, are you seeing this?
Yes. They're obviously going to stay close to a lot of people, aren't they?
We have to do something.
No. If you do anything, they might get spooked and set off their belts. Do nothing. The snipers will coordinate their shots when the time is right. All we can do till then is pray.
MI5, remain calm. Please remain calm. You are safe. Did we get them?
Yes. Headshot.
Red 2?
Yes. Right in the chest.
Right. We'll take our handguns and make doubly sure they don't get up. Well done. Tom, we need a team down there to disarm the belts, and team down there with white tents.
I'm on it. Move away, move away, move away, please.
I'm Claire Wells, and on tonight's Panorama, the truth behind the illegal drone strike in Moscow and the web of silence and cover-up at the highest levels of power. This is the programme they definitely didn't want to see. Deceased rogue MI6 agent James West and our sadly deceased journalist Jessica Adams, between them, gave me everything I needed. The whole incident from start to finish. And I mean everything. I have the console audio-visual logs of everything that went on at RAF Waddington on the day of the drone strike. Everything that went on in the ops room at MI6 on the same day. Recordings of telephone conversations between the PM and MI6 and within MI6. A fractious meeting between the heads of MI6 and MI5. Video of senior MI6 agent James West throwing Jessica Adams' body into the Thames. Reports from the post-mortem showing that she had been tortured. Photographs of the black site where she and others were rendered. Evidence of the failure of MI5 and MI6 to work together over the terrorist threat that led to the massacre at Waterloo and nearly the end of Covent Garden and tens of thousands of innocent lives. Evidence that MI6 employed an IS terrorist as an agent without carrying out any background checks. Evidence that he was being watched by MI5 without MI6's knowledge. And basically, enough evidence to bring down the government, MI6, MI5 and the Chief of the General Staff. There we have it. A catalogue of corruption straight out of the pages of a spy thriller. Happening right under our noses here in the United Kingdom. Will any of the people implicated in this programme be able to continue in their roles? I certainly hope not.
That was a great programme, Claire.
Thank you. I went the extra mile on it for Jessica.
Yes, I could tell. Well, I can't see how the government or the intelligence services can survive this. It was totally damning.
And I hope it wins me an award too, because it will be my swan song. I'm amazed the BBC even showed it.
Swan song? Are you retiring?
Yes, I think it's time to bow out gracefully.
Oh, well, that's a shame. But I know Jess is up there getting some comfort from the fact that they're all going to fall. And I can take comfort from the fact that I put a bullet in James West's head. But you didn't hear that, did you?
No, and as promised, how he died was never mentioned, and it never will be. Are you leaving MI5 then?
No. The worst crime they committed was poor communication with MI6, so I'll be staying. I owe it to Jess to keep fighting terrorism and corruption and keep our country safe. She'd want me to.
Yes, she would.
And so, in light of the Panorama programme, I really have been left with no choice but to stand down as your Prime Minister. And begin the process of electing a new leader. Before I finish my last speech as Prime Minister, I will just say this. I believe that the intelligence was sound, and I still believe that based on what I believe to be good intelligence, I did the right thing. Seems the country does not agree with it. So I leave our country strong and stable, and hope that whoever ends up leading us into the next election would not let my 3 terms in office count for nothing. I thank you. The Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What unfolded in the Panorama programme was indeed truly disturbing. I welcome the Prime Minister's decision to resign. I welcome his decision to call an election early. It's the most decent thing he's done since he came to office. And I look forward to working with whoever is the next leader after the election, when they're in opposition.
And so the Prime Minister fell on his sword. And indeed, the government fell too. Sarah Kennedy swept to power with a huge majority. Jenny took over as Conservative Party leader. Gordon Chambers was tried for treason, found guilty and jailed for life. General West resigned his position and Sir William stood down as Attorney General. As for Jessica's legacy, Claire set up the Jessica Adams Award for Investigative Journalism, and the first presentation will be made by Matt in the autumn. Absolute power might corrupt absolutely, but as long as there are journalists like Jessica, those in power who abuse their position will, sooner or later, be held to account.
Westminster, David Young as Chris Holliday, Sue Ford as Jenny Morris, Jeff Middleton as Martin Granger, Bob Wells as Paul Lewis, Robert Hardy as Sir William Hunter, Owen Holm as Sarah Kennedy, and Robin Whitbread as the Speaker. Intelligence Services, Rob Chantler as Gordon Chambers, James Ford Bannister as Richard Campbell, Stephen Ross as James West, Tom Brierley as Matt Davis, Christy Wright as Alex, Rob Chantler as Tom, Chris Bailey as Red 1, Matt James as Red 2. The BBC, Christy Wright as Jessica Adams, Philippa Stewart as Claire Wells, Joe Stockbridge as Chloe, Jeff Buckingham as Frank Jennings. The Army. Mark Lottinger as General West, Rob Day as John Barrett. Other characters: Izzy McNeil as Stephanie, Helen Neal as the Doctor, Doug Neal as a pathologist, Billy Reynolds as a member of the public, Clive Tibbets as the narrator, Tom Brierley as Hussein, and Rob Chantler as President Romanov. In the Interest of Security was written and directed by Robert Chantler and was a Free Theatre Company production.